Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Now we have a brand new hero path today that is coming out. Now if you're doing the fusion, this is obviously something of interest to you. I know a lot of people may not be doing the fusion, LYSANTHIR, that is currently active because he's a bit of a Hydra specialist. And when I saw him, I kind of had the words, do we need another Hydra champion? And I imagine others have also done this. But if you are going for it, this hero path, you have to do it. You need at least 50 fragments from this, but you can save yourself 2 other events if you want to go for the 100 fragments. It is replacing the champion chase, which is quite annoying because obviously this is a hybrid fusion. So you could have got yourself a bunch of free points from the epics that you would have to fuse, which you can't do now. So, and there's no other event that you can wait for. Maybe CVC on Tuesday, if it's still active, maybe the best time to kind of fuse him up and get it going. But I don't know if it's still active by then. Let's just double check that concept. His fusion ends in 6 days' time. It is currently at the point of me recording this at Thursdays. So you will be able to do it during CVC. So I would say probably worth it just to save up these points. This is worth CVC points, right? And you'll get yourself a brand new legendary as well. So that's what I will end up doing. But it is a summer rush, and there is also a few little things to note here. There is double points for ancient shards. There's also a ×2 sacred that is going on for the entirety of the event, which is started on Thursday and ended on the Monday. There's also some progressive chances for faction unity champions. Most of the time, these are not that big news, but with hard mode faction wars on the horizon, maybe, you know, it's more interesting to consider this. There's also a void champion to go along with it. So today, on Thursday, there is Dune Lord Gregor to Hanomach. I'll be honest, neither of these are kind of that amazing. To Hanomach, probably a lot more, but even then, there's loads more champions these days. Vizug is more interesting, especially if you have stock the Broken. That fusion kind of pushed him into a different tier, kind of useful. And Grazor is a much better Void Legendary champion for what he can do. Tribune Heraclites is probably my second choice here if I didn't have my first choice, which of course is going to be Admiral Blacktusk. He's kind of cool. He's got this very unique mechanic where he can attack when he's dead. It's kind of fun to play with. And Necret the Great is making a little bit of a resurgence. Coming back into the game purely because of the arrival of Empress and a couple of other things that you can make it happen. He-Man is kind of good. So is Aileel, and they both really benefit from the Necret. So it's kind of like he's a little bit, not much, but he is coming back in a little bit. And then Admiral Blacktusk and Arnon the Shining. Arnon is extremely good. Arnon is one of the few kind of like, oh, how the hell do I beat this guy type of champion. So I'm actually saving mine for kind of the last day because Admiral Blacktusk is a little bit more powerful. The others are just a bit too more niche. And you're really kind of picking these based on siege or faction wars. So that is what the event is going on. Now, this path is a little bit complicated, so I'm going to break it down for you right now in this video. I'm going to tell you the math numbers behind it. It's okay. It is a bit on the expensive side, but obviously this is something to take into account. So the first thing to take into account is why I'm saying it's a little bit complicated. You can be efficient in the way that you kind of pick your keys and use them. So you absolutely, if you want any of the fragments or even the soul, I mean, you could do the whole thing without the fragments, but you need the fragments if you want the champion. So that's why you would want the soul. So you need to do the fragments. You got to get a key. Can't get away from that. So to do this, you're going to go probably down the left-hand side here, get the chicken, get the epic book, get the shard, get the XP brews. You could, doesn't really matter which way you want to go. If you value the Chaos Dust over the 6-star Legendary Chaos Orb, that's not a problem. And get the key. And then you stop at this point. And the reason why I'm saying this, you do not need to get the Immortal Essences at all. You might be saying, what do you mean you need these? Well, because you can unlock the middle row, you should be able to just completely ignore the stones and essence completely. Because once you pick up this, what you're going to do is you're going to go down the speed glyph route. Okay, you're going to pick up this, and this key will get used to unlock 2 keys for you. So you want to go down the middle and then you pick up this key. Now, if all you're after is 50 fragments, you don't care about the soul, you just want to get the champion, great. You get this key, get the fragments down the middle here, pick up one of these keys and jump back up and do probably whichever side you went down, the glyph plus the fragments, and you stop. That's it. Now, if you want 100 fragments, you still don't want the soul, but you want to kind of save yourself 2 events, you do need some extra points, right? You're going to need the extra key. But this is where it's valuable. You can grab this key here. This key will save you some time. Now, once you've grabbed this, what you need to do is you will need to go down here and get the Mortal Soul Coin, right? So go back to the top, get the Mortal Soul Coin, go to here, grab this glyph thing here, right? Grab the glyph and grab this. This will use your 3rd key. and it will get you your 75 fragments. And then from here, you can get the last key that would have been on the opposite side. So if you went down the left-hand side, got your legendary chaos, or got this event key, then you would probably have normally needed to get the chaos dust. You don't need to, because you can unlock these fragments, which will unlock this last key, and then you can go down the middle. I've got an infographic. I'm going to put the link in the description in the web for the website guide that we've got on at hellhades.com. That is a picture to kind of show you the path you should take. It will be a bit more efficient, basically. You can save yourself a bit of pain. It's still a bit of a push. So with that being said, let's have a look. This is all the different paths here. Now, these paths that I normally do is a little bit messy on this one because it's a lot of different routes you can take. But essentially, it translates to this. You're going to basically either want 50 fragments, 100 fragments, or you're going to want 50 fragments plus a soul and 100 fragments plus a soul. It's kind of why you do this path. Otherwise, you just kind of skip it. You don't even think about it. So if all you want to do is get the champion, you need 33,250 points. If you want to get 100 fragments, but you don't care about the soul, it's 51,250 points. And then if you want the soul, you just add 50,000 on top. Because you've already unlocked that path down the bottom, you just add 50,000. If you want the frame as well, add another 5,000 points on top, which is basically the frame is a sacred shard. That's kind of like the way to look at it. Now, in terms of summon math, like I mentioned, they've given us an extra sort of 150 points, so 50% more for ancient shards, but it is a ×2 sacred, so they're kind of like trying to bait you, which means that probably there's going to be some sort of guaranteed ancient or 1+1 ancient or something coming up soon. That's how they normally do it. Like, they bait you to think that ancients is the way to go. It translates to this. So if you want the 50 fragments from just summoning, it's about just over 7 sacred shards, which is probably on the high scale. Summon rushes are around about 6 for the full mounts, right? I think we just had one and it was about 6 sacred shards for the last one. So you're looking it's a little bit on the high end, but it's not too crazy. If you want the 100 fragments to save yourself 2 events, then you're looking at essentially about 4 more sacred shards, right? That's how you want to look at it here. And then if you want the soul and the 50, this is like the minimum for the soul, it's about 18 sacred shards. So you're going to basically, for the soul, 11 sacreds. That's the way to look at it, right? It's 11 sacreds for a soul, 18 for the whole amount. Now, I will say, because they put fragments in this, actually 11 sacreds to get yourself a 5-star soul is much lower than the average dedicated soul, because you would already had to get those extra fragments to get the 50 fragments to get the champion. So if you want the champion, you're already spending 7 sacred shards anyways. It's actually not bad from a soul perspective. It's actually quite cheap in that reality. That being said, it's still 18 sacred shards for 50 fragments and a soul. That's a lot to ask for basically a niche Hydra champion. So if you're not even going for the fusion, you probably don't even care about this video. You're probably just watching this to say, hey, love your maths, you spreadsheet addict. I'm going to watch it anyway. Really appreciate all of you people that continue to do so. But that is the reality here. It's a little bit quite cheap for a 5-star soul, but it is a little bit more expensive for the actual fragments. Now, normally when you're looking at this, technically, mathematically, in terms of the budgeting, hero paths, the most cost-effective spending route is primals, even though that's not a reality for the average person, but that is the most cost-effective spend in terms of like the price per shard. Ancient shards, you're looking at 185 if you really want to go and get it. Still quite a lot. Now, in terms of dungeon divers, this, again, the points haven't changed. The points are pretty standard. We kind of just map out the probability and the odds, and this kind of gives us, the rough estimate. Stage 20 is always the most efficient way to do this. We know this by now. And it's really not meant to be the primary way you do it. As you can see here, we'll look at this summary. This tool is available on a Google Sheet for you. You can use it to say, hey, I'm going to use 5, and it will tell you against what target you want. So if you want the 5-star soul and the 100 fragments, for example, say like you want to go full efficiency, you can put the 5 in here, and then it will tell you, oh, you need to do this many dungeon runs. As you can see, dungeon is not the way to do this. If you want to do it through dungeon runs, you're looking at 20 to 50,000 energy. You cannot do it through dungeon runs. You're meant to do it with shards and offsets. So with that in mind, how efficient is the dungeon runs? Well, I would say if you pull like 5 sacreds or for the 50 fragments, how many do you have left? It's probably about 5,000 energy here, right? So if you're going to do that, you're probably going to go to Ice Golem, and you're probably going to have to run Ice Golem, and that's going to be about 2,000 energy. So it's probably asking you to spend an extra 2,000 energy to get those 50 fragments on top of 5 sacreds, which is not the end of the world. It's not too bad if you've been conservative and you've saved them. Congratulations. That's going to work out for you. But that is the estimate for this one. Make sure you pick the right path if you want to do it. I will put this in a Google Sheet and share in the description below so you can use it. You can make a copy and then you can use it for your own tracking purposes. Now, like I said, I will be waiting probably till Monday to summon mine. I've got plenty of shards here, so I'm not really too worried. I'll probably pick up the soul plus the 5-star. I've no idea if I'm going to use this champion, I will be honest. I probably could just get the 50 fragments and peace out and be happy with it. But he does hit quite hard. He's very good for Amius as well. That's the thing you got to remember is he has got this unique thing around the double hit, the extra chance. He's got the Fushan A2. That can be very useful in Amius for one-shotting if he's up in rotation, which he currently is right now. So I'm going to get him. Why not? It's a bit of fun. And maybe he's really good for the faction wars anyway. We'll have to see what happens. But I do have some prisms here. This guy, this third faction bonus for Kaldor is disgusting. It is really, really strong. It is effectively, if you're attacking an enemy champion, 0.2 times that champion's HP. But for every poison on that champion, it's another 10%. So if you put 3 poisons out on the enemy, you're going to do a 50% AoE HP hit. That's very strong. That is very, very strong. So it's actually pretty nasty hit. So he's a bit interesting. I know he's a bit weird. Probably some people will say he's not as powerful as other Unity champions. I would kind of lean to agree. But it was kind of curious. I'm also after a couple of these other ones in here. I wouldn't mind some more Dythes as well to get another +4 Dythe, which is what these prisms are really good for. I'm waiting for the Night Revenant's prism to come back so I can try and get my +4 Whisper. We haven't got it. But we might as well summon some here. I've got, like, what is it, 260. So maybe we'll get lucky. It's been a while since I've done a prism. It's going to be Creodon. Creodon is still really good for Finite Hard in Centranos. Pan the Bowman also. Like this faction is very good for Centranos, which is why I'm interested in getting some of them. Not so much for Dwerdam, but there is one particular rotation, I think of stage 6 or something, that he's really good for. We're going to get another epic here. This guy, totally useless. Cormac the High Peak. Not very good at all. Are we going to get a legendary, or are we just going to get all epics? Another Cormac? That's rubbish. I think we're just going to get all epics. That would be rough. Oh, it's painful. It's painful. Kellen the Shriek, I already have a +4, I think. We're 20 off. Oh, we could get a quick little pack here. 1 second. We've got a one-hit wonder. Is it going to be legendary, or is it going to be another epic? It's probably going to be another epic. It's another epic. And it's Women the Sulcan. But hey, guys, prisms, not as good, right? That sucks, but there we go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just had a little bit of fun. But let me know, guys, in the comments below, are you going for this Hero's Path? Did you even go for the fusion? I get the feeling that majority of you probably were like, meh, another Hydra champion, don't need it. I kind of ended up just doing it anyway, so I figured why not. I will be pulling my shards probably on Monday. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it for Tribune. I don't know. I feel like I want the Admiral Black Tusk. He does have this very cool skill set where allies will counterattack. He's a pretty good stun bot, stun protection. And, you know, look, at the start of each round, place the Stone Skin buff on all allies for 1 turn. That's pretty good. Basically gives your champions Stone Skin. Very, very annoying in Siege, I would imagine. Bit of an ally attack there, full cleanse. So he's kind of cool. He's probably the better one of all 4. I'm kind of excited for it. We'll see. Maybe I probably won't get it. You know, that's the reality of summoning these days. You know, even though it's a progressive chance, it's still a very low chance that I'm going to end up getting whatever is set here. But we'll get it. We'll get it done. And then maybe there'll be a LYSANTHIR guide. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next video.